Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Appreciate you tuning in. So I actually just recorded this video. It was an hour and 15 minutes long, and I only to realize that my mic wasn't turned on. So I'm going to do this again because this is going to be a masterclass in how to write effective cold emails that actually generate meetings and convert into revenue. Okay. And I figured what better way to do this than to go over some of my old email copy. So I have a very early campaign that I ran right here, and I will break down all the mistakes I made so that you hopefully don't make the same mistakes, and we will go through it together. So I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to get rid of all this, going to get rid of all this so you can see it. Going to get rid of all this, going to get rid of all this, going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to move this over. I'm going to move this over, and we're going to dive straight into it. By the way, if you don't know who I am, you haven't watched any of my videos, my name is Pablo Melandu. I'm the founder and CEO of Vintascale, a B2B lead generation agency. We use cold email as our method to getting clients or leads for our clients. Okay. So without further ado, let's dive into it. It might be a blessing in disguise because it's going to be a lot more compact. So here's a copy. I just used a template from someone who I thought was doing well, and I had no proof of that. And I'm against just blindly taking templates, especially if you don't know if they work or not. So hold on, let me put my thingy on Do Not Disturb here because I'm getting bombarded with notifications. All right. So blocked out any sensitive information, of course, from this person, but this was an email to Bruce. So Bruce said, please remove me from your mailing list, which I'm not surprised by. Don't take any of that stuff personally. By the way, it's going to happen. Okay. But here's the copy, and then I'll go over everything. I'll go over, where I messed up, and you'll be able to write significantly better emails if you watch this thing through and through. I promise to maximize the amount of value. Okay. So first off, what I noticed is I sent this at 5:51 a.m. I have no business sending emails to anybody at 5:51 a.m., especially if they live in North America. So first big mistake is right there. Like that's part of campaign strategy. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? Here we are. So 5:51 a.m. Big mistake. I'm just double checking if this is recording. This is recording. Okay, cool. All right. So big mistake, 5:51 a.m. Don't send emails at 5:51 a.m. Had no idea what I was doing. Not sure why or how that happened. Subject line is hi Bruce. Don't ever put that. Just don't do it. Just don't do the hey Bruce. Don't do the hi Bruce. Don't do the hey first name, hi first name. Just don't do it. Subject line, terrible. Looks like a 6-year-old wrote it. All right. Here's a copy. Hey Bruce. Congrats on the impressive capabilities of your blank Intel platform. With the rising demand for seamless mobile connectivity, your insights on network performance are a game changer for the industry. So that's a baseless comment. So here's the thing. So congrats on the impressive capabilities of your Intel platform. Like it's a baseless comment. The way I like to think about cold emails is what would you say to someone because it's cold, right? It's kind of like door-to-door sales, right? Or you standing on the street corner pitching things to people who are walking by and who are about to cross the street. That's how much time you have. And that's how effective and precise and direct you got to be. Hey Bruce, congrats on the impressive capabilities of your blank Intel platform. With the rising demands for seamless mobile connectivity, your insight on network performance are a game changer for the industry. So clearly what I did was I scraped their website, and I took that and I used that information here to personalize. The problem with this is nobody says this stuff in person. Nobody says this stuff, and it's too complicated. Another thing I like to think about when I'm writing cold emails is, can my mother read this email and understand what's happening? Right? And this, I don't even understand what's happening. This first line. So this right here, this first line right here, hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully it's zoomed in enough. This first line right here is useless. So automatically I wouldn't even have included this line at all. Scratch that whole thing out. Useless compliment. How I would open this email up is I would put, so I would put a relevance line right here. The relevance line does the following. It answers, who are you and how did you find me? How did you find me? Right? This, as it is right now, is a baseless, useless, fluffy compliment. No bueno. Not good. It's just a waste of time. It doesn't show that I did the research or anything like that. It doesn't, right? Because here's another mistake if we just look at this a bit deeper. I wrote your insights on network performance. Your insights on network performance. How do I know Bruce wrote this? Especially, I can't speak today. Especially because I don't know what size company this is. I don't know if this is a 200-person company or a 10-person company, because it's my targeting, if I recall correctly. I have the screenshot of the campaign results. I showed it in another video. It's my telemedicine campaign, but I don't want to grab the screenshot right now because I'm just focused on this. But I think the reply rates were like 0.9, which isn't terrible, but the positive reply rates were probably like 0.1. I think I surprisingly, I booked a meeting from this campaign. Surprisingly, I booked a meeting from this campaign. I don't know how I did, but I did. But the targeting was completely off, right? So I don't know if, I scraped this from the homepage of this company's website, and I'm saying your insights as if it's Bruce's insights that were on that website. I don't know if Bruce is a VP, a founder, a president, a director. I don't know any of that stuff. So first off, I'm targeting, here are all the things I did before you even break down the copy. Before we even do that, I didn't follow any of this stuff in the cold email money printer because I didn't have this framework. I built this framework by going over my terrible copy and constantly refining it and adding to this tree as we go. So first off, when we talk about lead list building and targeting, right? I did not pick a niche I knew well. Big mistake. Set myself up for a disaster here. I didn't even give myself a fighting chance. I didn't pick a niche I knew well. Why that matters is because I need to be there are specific words you can include that will show that you that you operate in this industry, or you at least help clients who operate in this industry. And I had no idea what I was doing. I'm talking about the Intel platform, mobile connectivity, your insights on network performance are a game changer for the industry, and blah, blah, blah. What the heck? All right. So telemedicine, I went after telemedicine because someone told me that it's a lucrative industry, and I just took their word for it without any information or data to prove it. So B2B SaaS, right? The sub niche was telemedicine. At the very least, I went for a sub niche, at the very least. But I went into a niche that I had no business being in because I could not speak to it at all. I hadn't done any market research, nothing like that, right? So off the bat, I didn't even give myself a fighting chance. This campaign wasn't going to work. I can just tell without reading the rest of this email. I can just tell that whoever wrote this had no idea what they're doing, because this compliment, first off, it's not directly to Bruce. Bruce maybe had nothing to do with this. Congrats on the impressive capabilities for blah, 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 blah. Bruce is like, me? My insights? My insights, right? So I would have deleted this whole thing right away. Targeting was terrible. Niche is terrible. Subject line is terrible. But this just goes to show, and I'll continue to emphasize this concept, that you need all these things to make a cold email campaign work. You need the infrastructure to be down pat. You need your offer statement to be down pat and refined. You need your targeting to be on point by doing all these things. Just check all these things off as you go. You need your copy to be on point, which we're breaking down in this video. You need the campaign management to be on point, which I wasn't doing. Because again, I built this entire framework by learning from mistakes from these campaigns, and this was one of my earliest campaigns. And I didn't have any success multipliers, which we'll go over as well. Right? And this is what I'm starting to review the analytics and stuff like that. It's kind of what we're doing right now. But I digress. So useless, baseless compliment. Baseless. All right. Next line. Is blank LLC looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers who are ready to buy? So here's why this doesn't work, and why it's just I was digging myself into a deeper hole. The company name isn't cleaned properly. And if we just go back to the framework One of the major things we're supposed to do is when we clean leads in Clay is we have to clean the company name. I didn't do this properly, and I didn't spot check it. I didn't check it. I didn't review. I didn't review any of this stuff. So what I should do is add to this tree. Take an eraser. I should have just ran it. I have something in here. Where is it? I have something in here. Where'd it go? Pre-launch. What we do pre-launch. I did not run a spell check in Google. I probably didn't run a spam. Maybe I did run a spam test. I didn't review this stuff. I just didn't. I can tell I didn't check my work. So review everything with a spot check. Review everything with a spot check. I'm going to make this red, and I'm going to connect this, all of this here. Simple, but you'd be surprised. Clearly, I'm surprised. Let me fix my computer brightness real quick because night shift is turning on. There we go. All right. So company name isn't clean, and I see another instance of that right here. There. All right. So is company LLC looking for, and I wouldn't have addressed the company name. I would have addressed it to him specifically. I would have said, are you looking to whatever, right? Book more sales calls. So this is too general. And it's general because I couldn't speak to the industry because I didn't do any market research. So if this was staffing and recruitment, for example, which I'm very familiar with, I would have said, instead of pre-qualified decision makers, I would have said hiring managers. And I would have said, are you looking to connect with more hiring managers, right? Not just ready to buy, but who are in the market for new software, for example. So this right here is essentially, so this is a question, right? We're asking a question, which is good because we talked about asking a question when we talked about the 4 main building blocks of email copy, right? And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be 5. We should change this to 5 because we added social proof. When I recorded this video, I added this social proof block. But again, my mic wasn't on, so that's why that's there now. There. So we're asking a question, but that question doesn't induce or evoke any emotion from the person reading it. It's just kind of baseless because I don't have any specific terms, and I'm not like poking at a pain here or asking a question that is alluding to something really enticing, right? So it's so general. Is Walmart looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers who are ready to buy? You wouldn't say that. Just like you wouldn't say this to someone on the street. You would say something to the effect of, if you're going to frame it in this way, which I wouldn't, and I'll show you how I'll frame it in a second, but you wouldn't say, is Walmart looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers who are ready to buy? You wouldn't say that, right? You wouldn't say that. So for this first line, this baseless compliment, my first line probably would have been something to the effect of, or I would have answered this right here. Who are you and how did you find me? I would have said something to the effect of how I found their company. That's what I would have said in this instance. You can also do something like I saw your LinkedIn post or whatever it is, like something super relevant, or hey, I saw you recently got funded. Congratulations. That is when it's okay to congratulate people, right? So relevance line, we talk about the relevance line right here. If you're going to congratulate someone or you're going to make it relevant, here's how you make it relevant. You mention recent funding, you mention hiring activity, you mention recent social media activity, or mention how in the world you found their company. What were you doing? Were you doing some kind of research, right? So if you look at, I broke down some copy in another video. It would have been, I could have said something like this, like, hey, here's how I came across your company, right? Would you be interested in blank that automatically connects you to hiring managers who are actively looking for agency support, blah, 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 right? So, but if you just take these templates and you don't understand how they work or why they work, they won't work. And this was a garbage template to begin with. So, first off, so where we're at so far, company name wasn't cleaned, language not specific to the industry. The proposition, so what I'm alluding to here, filling your calendar with what? With bogus garbage meetings, with qualified prospects. What kind of prospects? All right. Sorry, that's the offer statement. Looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers. Decision makers from who, from where, from Timbuktu? What industry? Right? Who are ready to buy? Buy what? You see how like this just reads template. It just reads template. And I'll show you how to make this more specific right now. Here's exactly what I would have put. Thankfully, I wrote this out when I wrote this out live when I was recording this video the first time. So let's just edit this in real time, okay? So subject line would have been quick question, Bruce. Don't overthink the subject line. The quick question still works. Just don't overthink it. All right. So I would have replaced the subject line. I wouldn't have sent it at 5:51 a.m. I would have replaced the subject line. Hey, Bruce is fine. For that first line, I would have gotten rid of this baseless, useless thing entirely. Useless. Compliment. Congrats on the what? I didn't even remember what I said. So if I don't remember what I said, Bruce definitely would not remember what I wrote to him. So I would have opened it up with a question like this. You don't always have to. But I'm just replacing, I'm editing the copy here, and it sounds like I wanted to ask a question. So I'm just catering to my old self and how I wanted to format this email and how I would have made it work. Okay. So that question, the question that I just wrote, and I'll break it down. It induces some kind of emotion, or it pokes the bear, meaning it opens up a pain. And I'll show you exactly how right now. Have you considered using cold email? Just for example, right? There are more than one ways. There's a million ways to ask a question. Have you considered using cold email to automatically connect with healthcare execs who have the funding and who are actively shopping for new healthcare software? Why does this work? Right? Another way you could have written it is, would you be interested in a service that connects you with healthcare execs who have shown intent to upgrade their software or are in the market for new software, right? But anyway, let's use this example. Why does this work? Because if you understand why it works, you can write it in any way that is most natural to you, right? So why does this work? Where's my pen? Here we go. There we go. Have you considered using cold email to automatically, easy, right? Automatically connect with healthcare execs. This is what they want to do. This is what they want. They want to connect with healthcare execs who have the funding, so who have money, and who are actively shopping for new healthcare software. This is specifically what they're doing. They're not just ready to buy. They're ready to buy healthcare software, and they have the money to do it, and they're doing it right now. And we have a method that is going to be easy on you. And this is specifically who we're going to connect you with, right? Where did I just pull that out from? The framework right here. If we look at copy, the cold email money printer, the reason why this prints money is because it's precise. Because to write good copy, whether it's a sales letter, an email, or whatever it might be, you have to communicate these emotions right here, that it's something new. It's easy on them. It's safe on them because you're a scammer until proven otherwise. And it's this big opportunity, or the result can be achieved quickly, right? So when we use words like automatically, the reason why YouTubers, again, paranoia, I got to make sure this is recording. When we use words like automatically, there's a reason why YouTubers put the words on autopilot in their YouTube titles, or step by step, because it communicates the word easy. Have you considered using cold email to automatically, right? This is what they want. Think about what they want. Now what they want depends on who you're targeting. It depends on the company size. I don't know what company size this is, which is alarming, because different people want different things depending on the company size. I don't know if Bruce is a director. I don't know if Bruce is a VP. I don't know any of this. Targeting was terrible. I didn't follow any of the things in this framework. Hence how and why I built this framework. I didn't follow any of the stuff here. I didn't follow any of the stuff here. I didn't follow or consider any of the stuff here. I didn't consider any of the stuff here. I didn't consider the fact that we're in B2B SaaS and we got to be a lot more precise. I didn't consider the fact that, how deep the sub niche goes. I didn't, operate in a niche or target a niche where I can speak the language. I didn't consider any of this stuff. And so you can see, again, re-emphasizing why you need to consider all these things and just check them off. Just check them off. Why you need all these things in order to make this work? Because once you have all those other stuff, once you have the lead list done and targeting right, once you have your offer down pat, the copy writes itself. I really don't even think about the copy too much. Right? So that's how I would have done that first statement right there. And again, the wording doesn't matter. It's not what you write, it's what you communicate. I communicated easy. Right? I asked him, have you considered a service? I didn't even have to mention cold email. Have you considered, or would you be open to a service that automatically connects you with who? With specific, right? Healthcare execs. It's specific. Who have the funding, so big opportunity, and who are actively, so right now, fast results, right? We go back to here. New, easy, safe, big, fast. New, easy, safe, big, fast. Who have the funding and are actively shopping for what? For new healthcare software. This tells me you've done the research on me way more than this baseless compliment. Way more than this AI looking baseless compliment. This will outbeat that original email already 10 times out of 10. Okay? So this is why, if you want to understand templates and stuff like that, this is why that stuff works. Start to look for this stuff in the templates if you're going to use templates. All right. So continuing on, is blank company name not cleaned, is blank company, I wouldn't have said the company. And again, this is alarming because I don't know if Bruce is a director or VP, but whatever. Looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers who are ready to buy. So not specific enough. So book more sales calls. Again, if they're a company with 250 employees doing 50 million a year, maybe they don't care to book more sales calls. Maybe they care to optimize their conversion. Maybe they're looking for a tool to optimize their cold emails. So you got to frame this differently. It's still lead generation, but you frame it differently. Because maybe if they have 200 employees, and again, I was probably targeting, if I remember correctly, any telemedicine company from 1 to 250 employees or 1 to 500 employees, something like that. At 250 employees, those guys are booking 5 meetings a morning, 5 sales calls an hour. What do you mean book more sales calls? So you see how this email doesn't even have a fighting chance at succeeding? This email doesn't even have a fighting chance at succeeding. And this is why. If we just learn to read in between the lines and if we do the research, the copy writes itself. If you just were to follow this framework, this is exactly what I do, and I've done this live on YouTube now. A couple times. You can literally just go through this framework. It's not for sale, by the way. I don't sell this in any sort of course. I just go over this live for free. If you were just to check all this stuff off as you go, you'd have a campaign that works automatically. Automatically. So how I would have rewritten this statement, and I hope we understand now why this statement doesn't work. It's because it's way too surface level, and I wasn't focused on what, who I'm talking to and what they really want. Do they want more sales calls with who are ready to buy? Nah. Right? So what I probably would have done is something to this. Okay. So I would have gotten rid of this is what I would have done. And I would have only asked one question to start. So this is not the question I would have asked. It's the one above it that I pasted. All right. So it would have been this right here. And then I would have gone straight into the offer statement. So this line right here, which I'll break down. But if we look at the 5 main building blocks of email copy, so the relevance line, we bombed. But I might have put something to the effect of like, again, I found you, or I found your company name through X. So through doing some research or whatever it is, something like that, right? So relevance line, we bombed. I didn't have this. Who are you and why are you reaching out to me? I didn't answer that. So immediately, like, this email goes from a possible 10 to, without targeting and stuff like that. Like, this is already a 2 out of 10 email, but this already strikes off another half point. The question sucked. Are you looking to book more sales calls with qualified decision makers who are ready to buy? Like, that's a template. You can send that to any industry. If you're writing stuff that you can send to anyone, you're talking to nobody. If you're talking to everyone, you're talking to nobody, right? So the question bombed, and the question that alludes to the offer, right? The question alludes to the offer, and the question bombed. So obviously the offer is going to bomb because the offer isn't specific enough. So here's the offer statement. Here, it's lagging again. Sorry, guys. All right. That it does that when I switch over to OBS to double confirm that it's recording and that there's sound, because I don't want to have to waste another 75 minutes again. So here's the offer statement. I help companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects. Way too general. What company? I don't want to feel receiving this email like you just sent this to a million other people in a million different industries. That's how I don't want to feel. I want to feel like you're in this industry somewhat. So here's how you do that, right? So I help companies? No. You name the specific company. So I would go even deeper than, my language is already deeper than just B2B SaaS. It's in telemedicine. But I would go even deeper than that and talk about the fact that I help telemedicine intel companies. I don't even know if that's a thing. I just got that from the fact that my copy said, your intel platform and blah, 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 blah. Like, here's the original copy. Congrats on the impressive capabilities of your blank intel platform. With the rising demands for seamless mobile connectivity, blah, 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 blah. So, let me zoom out. So I help blank companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects. Like, that's the offer statement. If that's the offer statement, I'm hitting spam right away, or I'm throwing this in the trash, or I'm going to do exactly what Bruce did and write, dude, get me off of your list. This can't be the offer. This can't be the offer. It can't. Like, this is just unacceptable. I help companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects. If we look at the offer, where is it? Okay, I gotta expand this. I gotta expand this in real time. So we're gonna move this here. I'm gonna put this here. And I'm gonna take this arrow and put it here. And I'm gonna take another one here, and we're gonna put it here. And I'll explain this in a second. I'm gonna put it here too. All right, cool. And we're gonna connect this there, and we're gonna space this out, and we're gonna make this smaller, smaller. And we're going to change the color to something like that. There. All right. So the offer statement has to say, something like this. Like, we help X companies achieve Y result in Z time. Like, we help telemedicine companies book 5 meetings in 30 days. Like, the most basic lead gen offer statement of all time would have done way better than this. It would have done way better than this. All right. So I help companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects. With who? With who are these qualified prospects? Right? Who is this lagging? Lag check 1 2 3. There we go. Okay, sorry, I was checking OBS again. I help companies fill their calendars. Like, that's not what they want. They want to connect. They want intros. They want to connect with blah 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 blah. At the very least, they want to book more sales calls. Better than filling their calendars, because filling their calendars with garbage meetings, right? So I hope you can see why this is too general. At the end of the day, I'm scratching this out ultimately because it's too templated. If you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. I help companies. Like, what companies? And I'd probably say we instead of I, but I'm not too, I don't have a hard rule on that. All right. And then this is supposed to be some kind of social proof line right here, which if we go back and look at the social proof section right here, we should be stating the company that the specific company we helped. Ideally, it's a company in the same industry as the person we're emailing, and we should state exactly what we did. So we help them achieve X. We help X company achieve Y result in Z time. Did I do that here? Absolutely not. Here's what I did. And I can tell what I did. My clients have made over $100,000 in sales using growth systems I've built. So again, this was a template. My social proof and this number figure came from, I used myself. So my old coaching and consulting business, we made, I was doing 6 figures. I did have cold email. I don't know what a growth system is. That's something I got from a template. This is something I got from a template. My clients have made over $100,000 in sales systems I've built. Clearly did not specify the specific company. Over $100,000. This should be specific. Like, what's the exact number? In sales? Now, are we promising sales or are we promising booked meetings and leads? Which one? Because the social proof line has to be on the same playing field. It has to be the same thing as what we're promising. We're not promising sales. We're not getting them sales. We're promising them leads. We're promising them leads. We're promising to connect them with healthcare execs. And where's the proof? Like, if I were to Google you right now, where's the proof? If I were to Google old me right now, where's the proof? Because I wasn't telling the world how much money I was making when I was running my consulting business. I wasn't. So if we look at Bruce, what Bruce definitely did, he didn't do this because he marked it as spam as soon as he got through this BS congrats line. But if I didn't have that, what he would have done at this point is he would have gone to google.com and Googled my name, Pablo Malandu, and check to see if there's any sort of social proof or social presence. And he would have gone to my website if he cared. If he was even in the market for this, which he probably wasn't because I didn't do the targeting right. I didn't do any of this stuff right because this was probably a company with like 250 employees. So he didn't have time. And maybe it was the director or the VP. Who knows? I'm guessing, but I didn't have any of this stuff. So there was no proof. So I was a ghost. And if you're a ghost, you're a scammer until proven otherwise. So that's why the social proof line means nothing. Because I didn't have any of these things here in the success multipliers. So the trust scale was at like a 1 out of 10. So that social proof line did nothing. To nothing. No, it's nothing. Unless my name is Gary Vaynerchuk, there's no amount of social proof that's going to fix this terribly written email. Because the email was so bad, that's enough social proof to let me know that you don't know what you're doing. So that social proof line means nothing. So I'm scratching this whole thing out. And here's an offer statement that I would have done that's slightly better. And still, this is just a first draft. I would have refined it way beyond this. So what specifically are you doing here, right? We do done for you cold email for telemedicine intel companies, connecting you with 5 ideal healthcare execs a month, guaranteed on autopilot. Great. Obviously better, but why? Why? Because what you're not going to do, if you're smart, is just copy paste this and fill in the blanks with your offer. Why does this work? So that you can write this. Okay. So I mentioned we help X companies achieve Y result in Z time, right? If we go back to the offer statement, we help X company achieve Y result in Z time, right? We help telemedicine intel companies, and I don't even know if that makes sense, which is a problem in itself because I don't know this industry. We help telemedicine intel companies achieve Y results, so 5 healthcare execs a month. Remove the word I do. So Y results, so 5 healthcare execs in Z time, a month. Now, I wouldn't have done this offer statement because this person doesn't know who I am. I would have started with an intro offer instead of alluding to a recurring service, because that takes a lot more trust, especially if I'm a ghost and I don't have any social proof. I'm not going for a recurring service. So I should probably edit the offer vertical right here. So the offer, components of a great offer, easy on the client, done for you. We can also put intro offer right here. Whoops. Intro offer versus recurring. If you're pitching just a recurring service right off the bat, then you better be, I don't know, you better be Gary Vaynerchuk. You better be someone I can Google. That's for sure. You better be someone I can Google. That's for sure. So we're going to put that there. I'm going to make this a different color so I can spot it easier. All right. Removes risks, so guarantee or performance-based. Fast turnaround of results, so we set the expectation beforehand. Again, intro offer. See, I did have it right there. Makes the value obvious. So not just books fills your calendar up. Not just fill your calendar up. Because you can fill your calendar up with whatever. So there's that. Now let's go a layer deeper. Let's go into the copywriting. So let's go into the copy vertical of the cold email money printer. Let's go down to the 5 main building blocks of copy. Let's go to the offer statement. So we have the framework of the offer statement done. Now we need to communicate the fact that this offer is either something you've never seen before, it's easy on them, it's safe on them because we're not a scammer, and that it's a huge opportunity, or it can be even better, it can be achieved quickly. So that huge opportunity can be achieved overnight. So we do done for you cold email. What does done for you communicate? The fact that it's easy, right? Cold email for telemedicine intel companies, connecting you with 5 healthcare execs a month. This is not a big opportunity to a big company. This is a big opportunity to a company that has less than 10 employees. 5 meetings a month, guaranteed on autopilot, safe and predictable, right? Safe / predictable. This is copywriting 101. On autopilot, another element of easy. Why I double down on the easy and safe is because we're a stranger. Cold outbound, cold calling, cold email, door-to-door sales, same thing. We must communicate that this is either a new opportunity or it's easy, safe, big, ideally at least 2 of those 4, right? And again, I wouldn't have done a month. I wouldn't have done that, but I'm just saying, I'm just editing this copy. I would have started with an intro offer. All right. So that's how you write a strong offer statement. Is this, and that's why offer statements work. Because if you just take the template, you might have success with one campaign and then never again. Okay. So next, the next line goes, let me remove this because it's getting messy here. Messy. So the next line goes, is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve currently? I don't know if this is supposed to be a call to action, or I'm just asking for a question for the sake of asking a question. I don't know what this template was trying to do. I didn't write this. This is the only saving grace I'm going to give myself, but I sent it, so I should give myself no grace. I sent it. Is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve currently? I don't even know, okay, so if Bruce even made it down here and if he's even remotely interested, which he wouldn't be because of how bad this was and how poorly targeted it was and how bad the offer was, how general everything was, I should say. Is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve currently? Okay, so this is either yes or no, but then what? Maybe at that point we can pitch a meeting, but here, if this was going to hold any weight, it would have been the last email. Like if I was going to make this line count for anything, it should have been the last line. It should have been the call to action, right? Because then it could have been considered an interest-based call to action, kind of like open to learning more. Is this of interest? But I didn't. I went further, or I let the template went further and said a bunch of more BS. So this now counts for nothing. A call to action is only good if it's like the last thing. It's the call to the next action. It's telling them, it's inviting them to the next step and telling them where we'd like this to go. And we're not doing that because we're following, we keep talking, and that's no bueno. It's no bueno. So next line goes, so out off the bat, just remove this completely. It'd either be the last line or I'd remove it completely. All right. Next, if if it is aligned, I'd love to show you how I could do the same for blank company LLC. So not clean company name, no pressure at all. So here's the problem with this. I'm making it about me and not about the prospect. So I'd love to show you. He doesn't care about what I think, and I'm reading this. If I'm reading this, I don't care about what you'd love to do. I'd love to show you how I could do the same. Who are you? And I don't care if you're Superman or Clark Kent. Right? So this whole line and no pressure at all. No pressure at all. I don't feel the pressure. I'm just going to hit spam. I promise. I promise I don't feel any pressure from your email. So scratch this whole line out. Do we understand why I'm scratching? Hopefully you guys understand why I'm scratching this out. It's because it's useless. And it's about, I was making it about me and not the prospect. It's none of these things here. It's none of these 5 building blocks. It's none of these. It's not relevance. It's not a question. It's not an offer. It's not a social proof. It's not a call to action. I mean, it kind of is a call to action, but it's not, because it's not. It's not. It's just not. It's not. It's a call to action for me. Like I want to show you It's not a call to action for him. So, okay, so that's why it's none of those things. So it's just useless text. It's just taking up space. It's fluff. This email could have been a third of the length and done 3 times as better. So I'm removing these whole 2 lines. So right now we only have this right here, question, and then an offer statement. And again, the question is optional, but I'm just working off of this template here, okay? So next, do you mind pointing me in the right direction? So this looks like the CTA right here. Do you mind pointing me in the right direction? And that's a terrible CTA. So we went over CTAs in previous videos. Call to action. Usually have interest-based campaigns, meeting-based campaigns. You can also have CTAs like this. You can. I've seen it work before. Not my campaigns, but other people's campaigns where it's like, am I even barking up the right tree? Right? But here's the thing. What if Bruce is the CEO or the VP or director of a 100-person company, for example, right? So if I'm Bruce, I have to take my time to point you, a person who I've never met before, never heard of in my life. And when I did my research to see if you even exist, you have no social presence, no social proof, no website, nothing. I have to take my time to point you in the right direction and potentially risk my relationships and refer a potential scammer over to my boss or my colleague. I'm lost for words now. This doesn't work because I don't have any of these other things right. especially this success multipliers, especially that. So especially the social proof, the presence, the website, the trust factor, again, is at a 1 out of 10. So the trust factor is at a 1 out of 10, and I'm supposed to refer you to point you in the right direction. Thanks. I really appreciate the help. Yeah. And then I did this thing, and I fell for this little party trick, this cold email party trick that's been going around, this sent from my iPhone thing. Don't do that. Don't do that. We all know you didn't send this from your iPhone. You didn't sit down on your toilet and write this. You just didn't. Especially not. Congrats on the network performance Intel game changer, 100,000 sales growth systems that I built. You didn't do this, any of this, from your iPhone. You just didn't. And you didn't type the company name LLC from your iPhone. You just didn't. Maybe what you did do from your iPhone is write "Hi Bruce" and send it at 5:51 a.m. from your toilet as you were brushing your teeth and getting ready to go to work. Maybe you did that. All right. So what I would have scratched all 4 of these lines right up here. I would have scratched out all 4 of these lines because they don't matter, including that call to action. And I would have put something really basic, like an interest-based CTA like this. Would you be interested in hearing this out? Kind regards, Pablo. Stated who I am. So founder at Scale. And then I would have, as we discussed before, I would have included an opt-out. This is mandatory. I'm going to make it red. I would have included an opt-out because what happened, and this is why this campaign, why none of my campaigns after this one did as well, is because my deliverability was shot because everyone was likely hitting spam. Why? Because I didn't give them an opt-out. So I would have put something to like, if this is a mismatch, here, let me just copy this. If this is a mismatch, just say the word and I'll back off. I would have put that down here instead of sent from my iPhone. I would have included an opt-out. I probably would have put in a PS line to add some more relevance, like PS, saw that LinkedIn post you wrote. Awesome job. Like that, if you're going to put a compliment, let it be that. Where's my compliment section of copy? So I would have put in the PS line, I would have added some relevance, right? So recent social media activity or something like that. Or PS, found you while researching telemedicine companies, right? So the PS line, I would have put in relevance, personalization, or social proof, or whatever it is, right? So, how far into this video are we? 48 minutes. All right. So let's wrap this up. So here's the old copy versus the new copy. Okay. Subject. So first off, my targeting would have been better. First, okay, let's go over just the basics here. All right. Because if you get this part, the copy writes itself. I would have targeted, if I'm going to target bigger companies, I would have put them in their own campaign. I would have done one campaign. Here, hold on. I would have done one campaign. Depends on how I'm coming at it and the offer and stuff like that. Like the offer and the company size go hand in hand, and the job titles, who you're emailing, they all go hand in hand. That's why all this stuff is connected with arrows and diagrams. One company would have had 1 to maybe 15 or 20 employees. Next campaign, 20, 50. Third campaign would be 50 plus. I'd probably just do 2 campaigns. 20 plus. And again, depends on the offer. Second, I would have done an intro offer. So so what that means is not an offer alluding to a recurring service, not an offer alluding to blank, blank, blank a month. Even though I wrote this in the improved copy, I wrote this on the fly as I was recording this video for the first time. I review my campaign drafts like 7 or 8 times before they go out. So if we look at campaign management, we look at pre-launch, I would have slept on this, okay? I would have slept on this. I also would have ran a spell check and done a spot check and all the stuff we talked about so that the company name doesn't say LLC and all that. All those easy things that cause this campaign to bomb and ruin my deliverability, all right? So the old copy, hey Bruce, sorry, subject line, hi Bruce, would never have, this would have never been sent, especially not at 5:51 a.m. Anyway, hey Bruce, congrats on the impressive capabilities of your blank Intel platform. With the rising demand for seamless mobile connectivity, your insights on network performance are a game changer for the industry. That just got me exhausted. Is blank LLC looking to book more sales calls with pre-qualified decision makers who are ready to buy? I help companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects. My clients have made over $100,000 in sales using growth systems I've built. Is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve currently? If so, I'd love to show you how I could do the same for blank LLC. No pressure at all. Do you mind pointing me in the right direction? Like, okay. Another thing, I don't remember if I said this in this instance of recording, but I know I said it in the first time. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but there are 2 call to actions here. Right? There's this call to action right here, and then there's this call to action right here. And I don't know which direction what you want from me. When I'm reading this email, I don't know which direction you're taking me in. Do you want me to say yes, this is aligned with what I'm trying to achieve currently, or no? Or do you want me to point you to the right person? Like, what are you asking me to do? You have to make the email itself really easy to respond to. And you're taking me in 2 different directions, Pablo. Do you mind pointing me in the right direction? Thanks. I really appreciate the help. Kind regards, Pablo Melandu, founder of Skill Set for my iPhone. Sheesh. Okay. New copy. Subject line. Quick question, Bruce. Have you considered using cold email to automatically connect with healthcare execs who have the funding and who are actively shopping for new healthcare software? Like, that's like, have you considered using cold email to dig gold? That's what this communicates. It's like, oh, the specific, you're talking to me. I feel like you're talking to me. That's assuming Bruce is a decision maker. We do done for you cold email for telemedicine and intel companies. Connecting you with 5 ideal healthcare execs a month, guaranteed on autopilot. Would you be interested in hearing this out? Easy. That's an easy thing, an easy call to action. Yes or no? Not. Is this aligned with what you're trying to achieve currently? Yeah. Do you mind pointing in the right direction? Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Where are we going? Assuming Bruce even made it down here, he probably took one look at this and he's like, dude, get me off your list. He's like, please remove me from your mailing list. All right. Signature. So Pablo, founder of Intiscale. P.S. If this ain't it, if this is not aligned, just let me know and I'll close the loop. Just let me know. So I hope this video added some value. This is the stuff that I wish I was exposed to when I first started doing cold email. And as you can see, we're continuously adding to this framework as I go, as I break down these emails. We're continuously making this chart bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's part of why I'm documenting things in real time. So I can learn as I go, because I'm not perfect. I'm not great. But hey, this was in May. This was sent at the end of May. In about 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks, I went from writing copy like this to writing copy that is actually bringing in revenue. I booked 1 meeting from this. I booked like dozens of meetings. Otherwise, we're booking like emails like this and understanding why they work. Like it's just doing really well for us and passing the same success over to clients. That's what I'm fully focused on doing right now. So hopefully you enjoy that video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. If you run a B2B business and you'd like us to set up and manage your cold email infrastructure for you, we can definitely do that. Just hit the description. My link is there. You can book a free consultation with me, and we'll see if the math makes sense. We'll set it up, run it for you, manage it for you to prove it gets you meetings or your money back guaranteed 100%. No questions asked in a legally binding contract. All right. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.